Are you guys ready for this? Animaniacs. I know some of you might be thinking, oh, was Animaniacs a kids WB show? Yes, you're right, but when Animaniacs came out, it was on Fox 5 first, before it went to kids WB.
I can verify this is the truth.
So, what can I say about Animaniacs? Well, Wacko, Yakko, and Dot were hilarious. I mean, I remember the scientists used to, not the scientists, but the psychologists, they used to give him a hard time.
Dr. Scratch and Sniff.
Dr. Scratch and Sniff. And also, plus, the Wacko, Yakko, and Dot, there was a bunch of side characters. There was the three, the three pigeons.
Good feathers.
The good feathers. It was
I'm not even on camera and I'm still pointing out your mistakes.
Anyways, yeah, the good feathers, and then I remember there was a little girl who would always run away and the dog had to save her.
Buttons and Mindy.
Buttons and Mindy.
Hey guys, this is Angel, Wake Angel. I hate to interrupt our video like this. Sorry Eli, this kind of has to be done. When we started talking about Animaniacs, I sort of went off on a rant, which left like 10 minutes of unusable video for this. So, because I had very strong opinions about this show. So I'm just going to sum everything I said in those 10 minutes right here. I liked the Animaniacs show overall, just like he did, but there were 3 sketches within it that I absolutely hated and hate to this day. There was Chicken Boo, Katie Kaboom, and Buttons and Mindy. The reasons being that, basically, these cartoons are all one-joke shorts. Like, they would work in a single episode, and in fact, these tropes were used as single episodes of overall longer series. Like Buttons and Mindy is the old, your baby wanders off and almost gets itself killed while someone tries to protect it. That was done in Yogi Bear and Tom and Jerry, and probably a whole bunch of other cartoons too. And it works one time per show, but when you actually make a multiple episode series of it, it's extremely repetitive. Plus, that was just such a really mean-spirited and hard cartoon. I hated it. And Katie Kaboom and Chicken Boo were the same thing. They're just the same joke told over and over again, and they're both pretty offensive because like Katie Kaboom was an extremely sexist sketch that says that teenage girls are monsters, and Chicken Boo, well, let's return to what we had actually recorded with the one line that I think really does sum up what Chicken Boo represents. Remember, children, it doesn't matter what you accomplish in life because you will always be judged for your race and your background. Also, I wasn't a big fan of the Good Feathers because what good does a Goodfellas parody have in a show that's aren't aimed at like freaking 10-year-olds?
See, that's the thing about Animaniacs. It was like I mean, you can tell the writers were very intelligent, but also it was like a very adult-themed show. Like there was a few episodes actually when they had some Beatles episodes. Like, all right, come on, we're kids. What? Do we know who the Beatles are? No.
There was a Howard Stern parody, Howie Turn. And his Robin was actually an anthropomorphic Robin.
Yeah. So I remember in the Beatles episode, they were making fun of Yoko Ono. She was like, ee, ah, ee. I remember all the 3 of them, the 3 Beatles, Ringo, George, and Paul were like, she's terrible, she sucks, she stinks. And John Lennon was like, I love her. I just remember that. That was funny.
But yeah, like overall, despite the fact that there were a couple of, I also freaking hated Buttons and Mindy. Like that was another.
Like, yeah, and also for Animaniacs, I actually have all 4 DVDs. I mean,
you mean seasons on DVD?
Seasons on DVDs, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people, they don't like to collect DVDs or Netflix or whatever, but not everything's gonna be on Netflix. Everything's not on Netflix. Netflix is not gonna be forever. I mean, me personally, I just like, I like owning DVDs. I like watching and supporting it.
That is good.
And I actually took.
One more thing. Crossovers. You gotta remember, a lot of the shows around the time had some overlap because they were made by the same people.
Mhm.
So there were actually a little bit of crossover between Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Freakazoid, and Pinky and the Brain, and it was actually pretty cool when they did those things. Like, I remember one time, like, Wacko just walked onto a Freakazoid episode and started singing a song, and Freakazoid's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What? Mr. Spielberg loves us. So me making a cameo on the show is gonna make him happy." And then the Brain came up with Pinky and the Brain, and like no, he likes the sophisticated humor of Pinky and the Brain more. So to confront this, Freakazoid and the other guys, they all went to confront Steven Spielberg directly. He's like, "Which one of us do you like best?" And Steven Spielberg replies like, "Who are you people?"
So like I was saying, is that my 4 Animaniacs season DVDs, I actually got them signed by the voices. I met all 4 of them. And well, it's 4 because Robert Patterson. No, not Robert Patterson. Robert Paulson. I'm sorry, Rob Paulson. He's the voice of Pinky, and he was the voice of Wacko. No, Yakko. And he was also the voice of Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s.
As opposed to the Donatello from the Renaissance.
Well, I meant from the show now. Actually, no, he does play Donatello now. He plays Leonardo in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show now.
There was one more thing. Oh yeah. The only besides the 3 sketches that I hated, Buttons and Mindy, Chicken Boo, and Katie Kaboom, there was the only sour note that there is of Animaniacs is the final legacy of it was Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain, which was the worst cartoon ever made. I mean, maybe if we start talking about really crap cartoons, I'll make that my number 1. But yeah, let's move on to the next one on your list. What's next?
Okay, the next one is number 3, SpiderMan.
Spider-Man.
This is the 90s, the best Spider-Man there's ever was.
Radioactive Spider-Man.
Okay, so I have a lot to say about this show. So I remember that show was also on for a few seasons, and I remember I loved this show. It had so many villains, like
adaptations of the Symbiote, the Clone Saga. We got the crossovers with other superheroes like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
Thank you, Angel. So like I was saying, yes, the Scorpion, Dr. Octopus, Venom, the Shocker, Hydro Man.
Okay, go on.
No, so and I remember there was some really great storylines to this show. Like I remember Venom, he was a badass. Like Eddie Brock, he like hated Peter Parker and stuff, and and they had their beef, whatever, back and forth. But then like towards the later in the show, when Carnage came, he was just crazy. Like he was crazy. He was Carnage, and I remember.
It's because in the comic books they made Venom into an anti-hero, so they needed to make another evil symbiote, so that's where Carnage came from. And
I remember they had to take Carnage down because he wanted to destroy the world, so I remember Venom and Spider-Man teaming up and taking Carnage down.
Spider-Carnage. The series' final act was in an alternate reality, Carnage took over Peter Parker and went insane and was trying to find a way to destroy all of reality, like every universe. So this that guy who sat in the chair, he used all of his powers to rewind time, and he had a whole bunch of cross-dimensional Spider-Mans go to stop this Spider Carnage, including a Spider-Man that was going through the mutation disease and had 6 arms, another one that actually stopped that guy from killing his Uncle Ben, and he went on to use his spider powers to become a mega billionaire, like probably the professional wrestling circuit. So he actually got to be a superhero and have his uncle and be rich, and like everything was coming up roses for that guy, which is why he was so convinced that he couldn't fail that he got himself paralyzed. But that's okay.
Yeah, so some of the villains were actually pretty cool, like some of the ones that are not like known or in movies, like for example, who's the bird man?
The Vulture.
The Vulture, yes, the Vulture. I remember the Vulture. He was pretty cool because he stole youth So I remember he like went down once and like stole Spider-Man's youth, and then Spider-Man took off his mask. He was an old man, and the people were like, "Look, Spider-Man's an old guy! Whoa!" People just don't use common sense or whatever.
That is hilarious.
It was the Vulture, and then Harry Osborn became the next Green Goblin, and I like Kraven. I also like
Kraven the Hunter.
his storyline because whereas Spider-Man took him down in the beginning, and then
When he went through the mutation disease and turned into a giant spider monster, Kraven had to save the world.
Yeah,
from
Kraven
him.
and the Punisher together. Yeah.
There was also Daredevil also made appearances in the show too.
But also with the Kraven was the scientist that was in love with him. Kraven gave her what he had to save her, and I remember she became crazy, and then Kraven Spider-Man had to team up and take her down. I don't know if you remember that episode. And there was
Mysterio had a bunch of cool stuff to go on there too.
Mysterio, and there's another villain that I'm missing that I liked. Alright, not Mysterio, Shocker. But Michael Morbius. Michael Morbius, the vampire. Remember? Yeah, I always felt bad for Michael because he became a vampire and he was trying to be good, but people attacked him, and then when they tried to save him and help him, they gave him more of that radiation. He became like a big bat. You remember that?
Nah, I don't really. I do remember that they had the Scarlet Spider-Man appear too, but that was in the final act. They actually had Stan Lee.
Yeah, in the last episode, there was 6 Spider-Mans from different worlds.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was
remember
just
Mary
talking
Jane
about.
disappeared, so they're like, oh, she went through this world, and then when he went through that world, it was like the real world, and that Spider-Man was just an actor, and then he met Stan Lee in the last episode. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Spider-Man that didn't have any superpowers. Like how, like, you're some dude that plays Spider-Man on TV, and all of a sudden you're pulled through a spatial vortex into another universe where the superhero you play on TV is called for to save the world, and it's like, oh crap, man. Although, because nobody expected him to be able to do anything, he did manage to sneak behind the bad guys and do something that helped them all save the day. So hooray, got to do the powerless Spider-Man.
Yeah. He helped.
It's like, sorry we brought you here, just sit here, we won't make you do anything. But then when everyone's distracted, like I can send you here, like beep 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 beep, the powerless Spider-Man did a thing that saved everyone. Woo!
But again, this show also has some serious adult situations though, like Mary Jane disappeared.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah, like
And then when he found her, she was a clone.
Yeah,
She was
like
a clone that Hydra Man made.
They didn't have Gwen Stacy in this show, as I recall. So all the stuff that Gwen Stacy did, they had to do with Mary Jane. Like apparently dying, coming back as a clone degeneration, all that stuff. All that stuff was they did it with Mary Jane instead of with Gwen Stacy. Also, there was a sequel series. Remember? The Unlimited Spider-Man or something like that, where he went to the alternate Earth, which is inhabited by Beastmen, and they had to fight the symbiotes, Venom and Carnage that went there. Anyway, we're up to the 45-minute mark, so this is getting really long, so let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, because you're talking.